You know where you are? You're in the Guns and Radio podcast, baby. You're gonna die. It's the Guns and Radio podcast. Our very first episode of the year 2020. We've made it a whole decade, ladies and gentlemen, and we're still alive to bitch about it. So I guess that's gotta count for something. Anyway, I'm Dustin Bonez, and joining me as always is my partner in perfect crime, the man of the hour, Chris Caputo.
Happy New Year, everyone, and also to you, Dustin. What's going on?
Everything is grand. I'm not my normal self today. Old Dustin's not feeling so great. It is National Hangover Day.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, there's that. So, we know that you're not feeling your best either, but we want you to know, hey, we're here for you. We promised you a bonus show.
Mm-hmm.
And it took us a little while to deliver, but deliver we have done.
Oh, we got there. And as voted on by you guys on both our Twitter and our Discord, you're all very enticed by the Guns and Riots option. So that's what we're doing today. We're going through each of the four riots that were incited by Guns N' Roses, mostly Axl. But
let's just be honest.
This is the Axl episode.
I don't know. We may decide he's not to blame on a couple of these. I'm not going to say this is the trial of Axl Rose.
Yeah, no, that was saved. When was that actually? The real trial. That was probably was that after Illusion? No, it was between the Steven Adler one. I think I don't remember.
Oh yeah, when Axl's sitting in the courtroom looking pissed.
Yeah, it's just like no emotion on his face. He's like, "Why the fuck am I here?"
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. Normally, with our new way of doing things, this would be about the time we'd kind of take a commercial break, but we're not going to be doing that today. We are coming to you completely commercial free because this is your episode.
The bonus show for the fans, the friends, the supporters of our great podcast. So this is all your work, guys. So thank you very much.
Oh, no doubt. We definitely appreciate all of your support. And we really hope that in the future, you guys will continue to support us through 2020 because we have some great stuff coming up much sooner than later. And I think that you guys are going to be real excited to hear about some of that. As a matter of fact, Chris... Why don't you tell everybody about our social media, because that would be a perfect segue into our big announcement that we've got to drop on everybody in this episode.
Oh, absolutely. If you're a first-time listener, then you're going to want to head over to our Twitter and our Instagram. They're both the same handle. It's going to be at Guns and Radio Pod. Guns, the letter N, Radio Pod. And this bonus show was thanks to you guys getting us to 100 Instagram followers. And if you want to get to another bonus show, so we mentioned earlier, a few episodes back, about the next bonus show. We want 50 5-star reviews on our Apple Podcast page. But I'm also adding another way to get a second bonus show, and that is if we get to 100 Twitter followers, we will do a second bonus show for you guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. And it should be easier than ever to find where we're located.
Oh, absolutely. You want me to? I'll spill the beans.
Go ahead. You might could tell them better than I could.
Yeah. So now, besides our Twitter and Instagram, you can also find us at our brand spanking new domain website. All you gotta do is type in gunsandradio.com. I almost fucked it up. Jesus. Yeah, so it's gunsandраdio.com. You can check out all the archived episodes there from beginning from 1, and I don't know if we're gonna include this is episode 0.
Wait.
That's future date.
we'll see what happens. We've acknowledged its existence.
Yeah. So there's like a little blurb about it there. So you'll definitely, it's from, let's just say from 0 to whatever we're at now. Right. And you'll get all our stuff there. You can find our Twitter there. You can find our Instagram, our Discord as well. You want to join our Discord server? It's in the link in this description of this podcast.
That's right. And if you go to the pages, I think the coolest feature is every episode has its own page there. And when you go to these pages, you can open them up. Anytime we do a watch along, the video to watch is right there. Anytime we've done something that required visual for you to look at, we've included it in that page. So everything you need, there's not going to be any more, hey, if you want to watch this video with us, head over to YouTube, type this shit in, hunt it down and all that stuff. No, from now on, all you got to do is go to gunsandradio.com, click on the episode that you're listening to, and all of the supplemental information that if you want to join us and be interactive with us is right there. The episode's there. It's going to have a description. You can download it directly from the website. Plus, we've included bonus information on every show, on every episode, so that you can kind of use it in a way as a Wikipedia of sorts.
Yeah.
So, hey, when we finish this project, though, that we're doing with this podcast, we will have one kick-ass Guns N' Roses fan page.
Damn straight. I think it'll be better than a lot of other fan pages. So, take that, my GNR forum.
I'm not going to hate on those guys too much.
No. We joke and kid. You know, the forums definitely were very, I guess, essential to like this hardcore GNR fan base. So I can't knock them down too much. We'll joke, but like we love them.
Yeah. I mean, we kid. We're everybody, except the one guy we've said we don't like a couple of times on here. Mm-hmm. I don't have the Eyes of the Ranger clip just handy right now.
Yeah, we'll put it in post. Fuck it.
So yeah, so we're gonna get started here then. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we dive in and take a look at these riots?
No, I think let's get right into it. Should we begin with the beginning, or should we go like sort of?
I think we should go in chronological order.
All right, so that means we're starting with probably the most infamous one of them all.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The Riverport Riot.
Also known as the Rocket Queen Riot.
Yeah. The Riverport Riot. This riot took place on July 2nd, 1991 at the Riverport Amphitheater, now named the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, the one that yours truly likes to visit from time to time, in Maryland Heights, Missouri, which, by the way, is St. Louis. Let's just call it what it is. It's like, before we went on the air, we were talking about how when you went to StarCast, how it was like in Chicago, but it was like in a town right next to Chicago.
Yeah, we were like in Schaumburg, which is like half an hour out.
Yeah, that's how Maryland Heights is with Missouri. One of the things that makes it appealing for me is you don't have to go through St. Louis to get to it. It's right off the interstate. You can take an exit, make maybe 2 or 3 turns, and boom, you're there. During the band's performance of Rocket Queen, Axl Rose, in the middle of the chorus, pointed out a fan who was taking pictures of the show and said,
"Hey, take that, now get that guy and take that. I'll take it, goddammit."
And then, of course, Axl would dive into the crowd and proceed to attack the guy, and we all know what happens next. So the guy's name was Stump, of all things. I love that name, by the way.
Yeah.
I hope it's not because he's like got a leg amputated or anything. But yeah, that crowd fucked their shit up. And it was a little venue, from what I've read and seen on it, that part of the reason this riot was so bad in particular is because it was the venue was brand new.
Oh, yeah, it was at the time it was like brand new, and they spent like millions of dollars on this thing.
Yeah, and then they didn't have the right amount of staff.
That too. Also, like, there was apparently, like, if you read into this more, like, GNR security team made like all these requests to the venue's security team to like, get this guy's fucking camera out of there. But like the venue security was fucking clueless. Just wasn't doing shit.
Yeah, what a different world it was back then.
Yeah.
I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think the pictures the guy took were with one of those, do you remember disposable cameras, those like little cardboard cameras you could get at Walmart where you'd take a picture and then you'd crank it?
Oh yeah, you get like, it was like those Kodak cameras. You get like, I think like 20 or something, and you have to take the film and get it.
Yeah,
and then,
get it developed.
Developed. That was like 2 weeks.
Oh man, I hope someday, I'm currently on a mission, and I haven't announced it publicly yet, but I'm on a mission to find the stump guy, because I live so close to this. And if I can't do anything but sit down and chat with him for about 15 minutes about this, I would love to have him on our show.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. But
we have 2 riot survivors on our show.
I know, right? And probably the most famous one lives right over here close to me.
Right next door to hell.
I know, right? And part of that now, Stump would go on to sue Axl Rose after this riot. You know about that?
Would.
I've got a clip here I'm going to play you of Stump talking about that lawsuit.
Now counter-door William Stevenson is suing Rose, claiming he suffered serious back injuries when Rose jumped on him.
In court, I had to sit 3 weeks straight in the courtroom with him, and they literally sat me and him side by side. And on this big screen they put in the courtroom, made us watch the concert in front of the jury. I'm rocking out, watching the show. My lawyer's like, dude, his lawyer had took the sign from the front of Riverport, which was maybe 3 by 5, and it had it blown up, and brought it in the courtroom and saying, you didn't see this sign? And I said, yeah, I seen the sign. Of course it wasn't that size, but I seen it. And he goes, well, can't you see on there, no cameras, no. I said, haven't lied through this whole thing. I said, I snuck the camera in. I told you I had it down my pants. I had a knife on me. I had a bottle of whiskey. Everything I snuck in, like I always have. I said, I'm not denying I broke the rules, but it still didn't give him the right to do what he did.
And they both have compromised, and they both reached an agreement between...
The jury came out and asked for some more evidence to look at, and then they come up to the sum of numbers were about where we was all in the same ballpark. And we wound up settling the case. Basically, I asked my lawyer, I said, is this done and over with now? And he said, yeah. I said, okay. And I grabbed my book up with my photos of him, and he's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going over to get my autograph, because he owed me an autograph. And he's like, no. And I go, well, why not? What's he going to do? He goes, who knows? I said, well, we'll find out in a minute. And I walked over to the table, and all the news media people was around him. And I just kind of rudely cut through, excuse me, and set my book down in front of him. And I said, I think you should autograph this picture. And he just looked at me like, are you crazy? Dude, it's people like me that buy your albums and come to your shows to put you where you're at. And I think you got a little bit away from where you came from. And I said, I am not a bootlegger. I said, this picture stays in my collection, and I want it autographed. And he looks up at me, and then I had him thinking, and all the media is like, this is going to be great. They're all cameras rolling. He's going to sock him or he's going to sign it. Yeah, so they finally, he looks up at me and says, do you want me to put Billy or Stump? I said, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, you may have given me a right hand, but I just wanted an autograph.
Yeah, he said, because I listened to an interview with him when Guns N' Roses came back in 2016, and he said he was excited about it because he's still a big GNR fan. That's dedication.
Yeah, damn right, especially because after this, basically GNR is basically banned from the entire state.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with us as a group of people? We take so much shit from this band.
Yeah, you literally were in the liner of thank you notes for Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. It wasn't a nice thing they said, but... Bitch, you made it. Even though Axl was telling you to fuck off, you made it.
It's like that guy that punched out Danzig and became just as famous.
Yeah.
Except the other way around. This guy got famous for getting hit by Axl. But man, what balls. Made him sign an autograph. That's badass.
Yeah,
Shit.
I'd be like, no, I want an autograph and a fucking Polaroid picture.
Damn right. Have we played the news clip yet?
No, I don't think so.
St. Louis.
Let's get to it then.
According to police reports and eyewitness accounts, about an hour into the show, Rose spotted a fan in the front row taking photos of him and got upset. Cameras are not allowed into the amphitheater. Rose reportedly yelled several times for security to stop the fan from taking pictures. When they failed to respond, Rose announced that he would get the guy himself and then jumped into the crowd and allegedly pummeled the fan. Venue security jumped in to pull Rose off the fan, then Guns N' Roses security jumped in to pull them off Rose. Axl eventually made it back to the stage, announced, "Thanks to your lame-ass security, I'm going home," and left the stage. The rest of the band played on for a few seconds, then left when they realized Axl was gone for good. The house lights stayed down for 10 minutes as the crowd booed, and when the house lights came up, some 2,000 of the 20,000 fans began to rush the stage. Along the way, the fans assaulted security and police officers, destroyed seating, ripped up turf, and then took to the stage, attacking or walking off with Guns N' Roses' gear. Here's what some witnesses at the scene had to say after the riot.
Axl comes out, he's got on a new fur coat or whatever. They start singing. He looks down at the crowd and he's like, take it from him. All of a sudden he goes, if you won't take it, I'll take it from him. Axl jumps into the crowd. Security gets there in a hurry. Axl's throwing blows. He gets up on the stage. Security's all over, and all of a sudden Axl goes, I'm out of here because of piss poor security. He takes off, and the band kind of slowed down like they didn't think it was for real. Then they just took off. We kept waiting for him to come off. We kept waiting for him to come back on stage. And they loaded the bus, and they immediately left.
They stormed the stage, tore down the speakers, the screens are down.
Welcome to the jungle, Axl!
I vandalized some property here. I pulled out some plants and I threw it against the wall. I was mixed up in the commotion. I know I shouldn't have done that, but I just let my adrenaline take over.
So far, no one's serious. I don't think we're going to have anybody that's admitted to the hospital tonight, but we're repairing a lot of lacerations and doing a lot of x-rays at this point.
The supervisors that were there took firm control over the officers. We were very cognizant of incidents that have happened around the country with police brutality being an issue. We were concerned that that would not happen here, and it did not happen here.
The Maryland Heights Police Department says that Guns N' Roses snuck out of the venue and hightailed it out of town during the melee. However, Guns N' Roses management says that as soon as Axl and the band got off stage, they were told by police and the concert promoter to leave the venue at once, which they did. GNR management adds, quote, "We saw lots of people in the show with bottles, cans, cameras, even knives. One of our roadies was hit on the head with a bottle trying to save Slash's guitars. You ended up with kids all over the stage, destroying drums and grand pianos and lighting rigs. This is a month-old venue with a new staff. We think security was insufficient for this event." Meanwhile, 3 hours after the riot started, at 2:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, Axl Rose phoned a St. Louis radio station and in an off-air conversation reportedly said the band would have liked to have come back to finish its show, but things got out of hand too quickly. Dan Dirkles of the Riverfront Times, who was there to review the concert, told us that he not only saw police use water hoses and tear gas on the rioting fans, but that he witnessed individual acts of police brutality and that one of his fellow reporters was clubbed with a nightstick after telling police he was with the press. All this, adds Dirkle, because Axl Rose didn't like his picture being taken. With the band's gear trashed or stolen, the July 4th Guns N' Roses show in Chicago was canceled.
Resuming their still albumless U.S. tour tonight with a concert in Dallas. The group says it hopes to reschedule the canceled Chicago and Kansas City shows, probably in early fall. As for the St. Louis riot, in which more than 60 fans and police officers were injured and several $100,000 worth of damage was reportedly done to the venue, local police, while blaming the incident on banned behavior, have not filed any charges against the group. And the venue, a 2-month-old facility called the Riverport Amphitheater, was open for business again this past weekend for a concert by warrant. Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose says he feels he's being made a scapegoat for the riot, which he blames on lax security. "I don't think the blame would have come down on the band," he says, had the crowd gone crazy at a Barry Manilow show.
Weird how things... It's so weird to me when you think about this guy got thrown out, not thrown out, but basically got attacked by Axl Rose for having a little shitty cardboard camera and taking photos. Yeah. Fast forward to 2012, and I was in the front row with a guy recording the concert on his phone, and Bumblefoot takes his phone out of his hand, runs around the stage, and gets up close videos of everything while the guy was recording or streaming online.
But like even like the I remember I went to see him in 2010. Yeah, the little Canadian leg on the Chinese Democracy tour. I remember they were very like there's like a shit ton of security looking out for people like recording the concert or whatever. But like a couple people got away with it, so I still have a good quality audience recording of the January 28th, 2010 show from Toronto. It's a fucking awesome show, by the way.
So up next,
this is probably not as infamous as Riverport, but it's like close enough to it because this was on like that huge the Metallica GNR tour, and dude, they had some crazy fucking openers. They had Faith No More, Motorhead was opening for them, and fucking Body Count.
Damn,
it's dude, that was a hell of a lineup, especially for like those days. Huge.
Oh yeah, no wonder there were so many fucking people at this show. But I think we all know the story. If we don't, this time I'm gonna get my shit together. Hang on, let me play that infamous clip.
Get your shit together.
And we're gonna play. Let's play the news clip. There we go. News clip.
Yeah.
Recent memory blew into the Canadian provincial capital of Montreal on Saturday night and ended in a riot after Metallica frontman James Hetfield was sent to the hospital with exploding pyrotechnic injuries, and Guns frontman Axl Rose abruptly ended his band's set with some ominous comments about the band's future. At least 8 police and 10 concertgoers sustained minor injuries in the melee that followed. A dozen arrests were made, and initial reports estimated damage to the stadium to nearby stores to total as much as $1 million. Things started going wrong about halfway through Metallica's set when a stage prop exploded, inflicting second-degree burns on James Hetfield's arms and legs. The band was forced to terminate its set, promising the crowd it would return to play a makeup show, and Hetfield was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. When Guns N' Roses took the stage about 2 hours and 15 minutes later, according to Montreal Gazette rock critic Mark Lepage, who was in the audience, the band played about 6 songs before Axl Rose told the audience, quote, "We got it together in Europe only to have it come apart here. In case anyone is interested, this is going to be our last show for a long time." Rose then sang Double Talk and Jive, and then Civil War, and then walked off. Although press reports have blamed Rose's hasty exit on his ongoing throat problems, which have forced cancellation of 3 U.S. shows in the last 2 weeks, journalist Lepage says there was no announcement or explanation offered before the house lights suddenly came up. As the audience of 53,000 people filed out of the stadium, some 2,000 disgruntled concertgoers began to set fires, break into souvenir stands, smash windows, and overturn cars.
This one's on you guys, though.
Yeah, well, they're on my neighbors. Fucking Montreal.
I've never been to Montreal. I've never been to Canada. Canada.
Jeez.
When he was building the website, I almost put on your bio, I almost put hometown Canada, CA.
Canada. Jesus, we've been around for a few hundred years. Come on.
From the great city of Canada.
Yeah, dude, this riot was at a huge-ass stadium. This is an Olympic Stadium, which is like a silver, like 66,000 plus seater arena. With this lineup, huge.
Yeah, let's see. Apparently there was 53,000 people in attendance.
Huh.
And 2,000. Yeah, so I mean, that's still, I mean, it may have not been sold out.
Yeah, or maybe it could have been. I guess they had to arrange things for staging and whatever, all that bullshit. So
yeah, just because it's a 60,000 seat arena doesn't mean you're going to get that much, especially when you throw in the what do you call it? The thrust, the catwalk that Axl likes to have.
Yeah, I think even during that like GNR Metallica tour, they had like a big catwalk and shit there too.
Yeah, and so, but it says in the article I was looking at that it's estimated that only 2,000 people actually participated in the riot.
Yeah,
and so I guess what happened was Axl, according to Axl, like his monitors weren't working right. He was having throat problems, and he couldn't continue. But that wouldn't be such a big deal had what happened to James Hetfield not happened prior.
Yeah, dude got almost burnt alive.
I know, man. And now look, I'm just going to put this out there. I like the music. I don't like the band. Metallica have always come across to me as a bunch of douchebags.
I think it's mostly Lars, though. Lars looks like a fucking douche to me. Like, the rest of them are okay. I think it's Lars.
Lars is a shitty drummer that got lucky. And I think he owns the name, or else they would have got a decent drummer.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, James Hetfield seems cool.
Yeah,
Lars
he's fucking cool.
Seems like a dick.
Yeah.
And the guys in this clip I'm about to play you here from Metallica, to me, they just come across as dicks. Here's Metallica's side of the story.
He could have been the hero of the day, you know. We continue the show, and, you know, the band plays on, and we're here to bring music, and he throws this fit.
Axl's monitor system wasn't to his liking. Then Storm 2 of the evening kind of happened.
He'd said something into the mic and just threw it down and walked off stage. Axl didn't want to be outdone. And that's when all hell broke loose.
So the kids start freaking, turning over cop cars, fighting the police, burning everything inside.
People just storming into the grandstands and destroying everything. Some cars were on fire, there were people hurt, and we couldn't leave.
I go and light myself on fire, and he upstages me.
And so we went into the dressing room, you know, and they're acting like nothing happened.
Axl's down there with the cigarette holder in one hand and the champagne glass in the other. So my voice is giving me trouble. Your voice is giving me trouble. You shouldn't probably be drinking or smoking.
And it reminded me of what it must have looked like when Rome burned and Nero played a fiddle.
We can relate to Axl and his attitude, you know. So we learned quite a bit on what not to do.
Isn't it funny how history has almost erased Guns N' Roses? One of the great frontmen in the past 20 years disappeared, yet Metallica continues to play anywhere in the world in front of any mass of people, comes out with a new record which will always go platinum.
And really quick, before we move on, I just want to say, Dick, that how much did we say that the Not in This Lifetime tour grossed?
Oh, I think it was like 584 million around there.
Something like that number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely almost 600 million. Close to 600 million.
Yeah.
And what was it, the number 3 biggest
third highest grossing tour of all time as of right now.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad for a fucking band that has been erased from history, right? May not have the best relationship with their fans sometimes, but you know what Axl Rose has never done? Fucking sued us.
Yeah.
How bad do you got to forget where you came from to sue your audience?
Yeah, that fucking ruined Metallica in a lot of ways, I think. The whole Napster lawsuit, just like the fan perceptions went down the toilet in there.
I am still mad about that. To this day, I have not bought, I've bootlegged a lot of their music. I have not bought anything with Metallica on it.
Bitch, fuck that. We all stream their shit now. Who cares?
I don't even stream it. If I can't download it illegally, I won't listen to it at all. I'm not going to sit through an ad and let them get money for my listens. I'm pissed.
They don't even make that much off a stream anyways. Like 1/72 of a cent anyways.
Well, you know what? Not one fraction of their cent, the cents that band has made, came from me.
It's true.
At least since 2002, 2001.
Yeah, because that was around the time when the whole thing started because their Mission Impossible 2 song, whatever, like someone leaked on Napster and like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm not making money off this. Sue them.
Sue the people that buy your music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they accuse Axl Rose of forgetting where he came from. Anyway. Dicks. That's why I don't fuck with Metallica. Let's hear Axl's side of the story real quick, and then we'll move on.
So we're kind of like around the Bay Area, right? Good. So it's kind of like we're here on somebody else's turf in a way. Some people we used to like to think that we were homeboys or something. We'll talk about maybe your good friends, I don't know, Metallica for a minute. Let me tell you a couple of things about Metallica. First off, they do a lot of bitching for a band that got paid about 20-30% more than fucking what they deserved at a show because they didn't bring that much. Ooh, Axel's talking now. Well, listen to that. Who does he think he is? I'll tell you who I think I am. I thought I was friends with these people. You know, I don't know how long they were on the road, but there was nobody in their crew that had ever got a bonus or paid anything extra for working their fucking ass off and slaving for that man. I pretty much watched a lot of people get treated like shit, and it wasn't very enjoyable. I watched a man named James prove that, you know, see, since I'm supposed to be the rock racist, because I used a word once, I watched a man show me that he was a motherfucking racist. Had a real big problem with Ice-T and any black bands, actually. You know, rap is really terrible and black bands, and it's not everywhere out there. I watched them be really shitty to black people that work with us. That wasn't very enjoyable. I watched them diss on other people like Sebastian and shit. People that like love this fucking band. They love Metallica. They would like fucking do anything for that band. But Metallica don't give a shit. Lars don't give a shit. Motherfucker calls me at 4 in the morning trying to kiss my ass and stuff. It's like, but I can't trust the motherfucker. Because he's going to take it and figure out where to go make some more money.
All right, there you have it. That clip comes from a concert. I forget which one. And, yeah, you got anything else you want to add to this? This episode is kind of a clusterfuck because this isn't what we're used to.
Yeah,
but,
not at all, but...
I mean, you can read this shit yourself.
Yeah.
This is all out there. I don't feel like it's going to do us good to sit here and read like a news report.
Yeah, we're trying to blend like us, whatever, riffing on it with like you know, clips, tidbits. So it's not like us riffing on like a song. We're doing like a more docu-style kind of thing. Something a little different, you know, like change up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but this isn't a news show. This isn't a news episode. We're playing you clips and things to kind of remind you of what went on, but at the same time, you know, our commentary on it is what you're getting.
Yeah, this riot though was fucking insane just from reading this stuff. So the estimated 2,000 people who were involved, basically they uprooted a street lamp, overturned police cars. Oh my god, the Montreal police show up in riot gear. Tear gas was used.
Damn.
Jeez. 3 police officers, 10 riders injured, and at least a dozen arrests.
Fuck, I wasn't expecting
shit was
that out of
wild. That was wild, man. Holy shit.
See, I always thought a Canadian riot was like they've got a brick they're about to hurl in a window and somebody's in the way. Hey there, buddy, could you step on over there for me for a second? All right, thanks. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll wait till you're finished.
Yeah, lots of apologizing.
I don't know why my Canadian and my Minnesota accents are so similar. I guess because the only thing, I don't really know what a Canadian accent sounds like, I don't guess.
Yeah.
I don't hear it with you.
I'm too, I don't know. That's more like, you'll hear that more like in northern parts of like certain places in Canada, you know. Like more like northern Ontario, you're going to hear a lot of those like Canadian accents. They're talking about and going for a rip and smoking darts.
Yeah. But you get that in Minnesota, so that's weird. So
Yeah.
like there's like so when it comes to accents, there's like a stripe of people that don't have them, and then there's like above them and below them.
Yeah, it was a little like rednecky when you go like the northern small town parts of Canada.
Oh, so it's just like here in the South when you go to the southern parts of the United States.
A little bit, but like I don't know if they fuck their cousins or not there.
Oh, moose.
No, that and a little bit of deer. Gives beaver tail a whole new meaning, maybe.
Oh, I've never seen a moose.
They're interesting.
You ever got attacked by a moose?
No, actually, I've seen like little like deer, like walking some trails, whatever, like little Bambi looking fucking deers. It's like out of nowhere.
Do moose get in the road there, like how deers come up in the road here?
Yeah, if you go more like northern, like what we call like cottage country, you'll definitely see more like watch out, like deer crossing signs or whatever. You get more of those like deer or like moose crossing because like they'll just cross the fucking street, and like if you don't brake fast enough, you're gonna kill a deer. You're gonna boom, it's gonna hit your car.
Yeah, deer do that here, but what about if it's a moose? Wouldn't a moose just fuck you up and keep walking?
Oh, for sure, hands down. Those guys are tough bastards, hands down.
Was there anything else we need to add on this one before we move on?
That one? No. Let's move on to the second of 2 Canadian riots. This one coming about 10 years later or so.
All of a sudden we got an announcement that one of the band members hadn't come, and then someone was like, oh, it's Axl Rose. So we're like, oh no, these people are gonna riot.
I was so ready to party hard.
I still love Axl. No, I don't.
What happened to Vancouver? If we were there, we were there. Axl's in the air. He's on his way. Like, we had 3 hours before we even had to go on, and they pulled the plug on us. It should have never been canceled, and everyone will hopefully get over it.
This was the supposed to be the kickoff of the O2 Chinese Democracy Tour.
Yeah, but this is the one that everybody says should not have been canceled.
Yeah, there's definitely some up for debate, whatever. Because like, I think the venue, the people at the venue management, whatever, I think canceled it prematurely. Because this was like still at 8 o'clock local time there.
And I believe this is the one. No, Philly is the one that I'm thinking of, where that's the one that killed the whole tour.
Yeah, this one was like, this was just like the comeback was like, people were like hyped for this shit, and then it's like, oh well, this comeback already started on a very sour friggin' note.
But see, here's the thing though that gets me. This one riot happened because they no-showed. I mean, yeah, Axl wasn't there yet. But they canceled the show, you said, like, 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, the doors didn't even open, apparently.
And, yeah, if the motherfucker's on his way, dude, Axl Rose ain't going on stage till, like, midnight any fucking way. You know this.
Yeah, who cares? He's got the money to pay the union dues and shit and whatever, noise violation bullshit.
He'll be there. We're pretty sure. Like, we can attest, he's gonna fucking be there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe it was different back in those days. I don't know, but I feel like, well, here's. Let's play a clip really quick of Axl talking about that.
Hey, what's going on, Axl?
What's happening? Getting ready to play.
Yeah, man. So, welcome to Seattle, dude.
Yeah, well, right now it's beating Vancouver.
Yeah. So you want to address last night at all?
Sure. We were going to play a show, and the plug got pulled on us. We were fully able to meet our commitments, and we don't really understand what happened right now, why the show was pulled. We have a legal team looking into it to get to the bottom of it, and then they'll have to sort out things about the people that bought tickets and things like that. But basically, the building manager just decided, in all of our opinion, prematurely that the show was just canceled. And he didn't discuss it with anyone. He just announced it over the we found out, my guys found out over the public address system.
I had read that you were like stuck in LA or something, and they were.
No, I was in the air. I was in a plane on the way to the show. It gets complicated.
Yeah.
The manager of the building said that the doors wouldn't open until he had confirmation that we were wheels up, that the plane was in the air. And as soon as he had that confirmation, he canceled the show without telling anybody.
That takes some balls, man.
And not only did he cancel the show, and before this, I don't know if it was a riot or a disturbance, whatever started, they had police at the airport trying to find out what was going on with me. So it's all kind of screwy.
Okay, so yeah, this is the one where Axel was on his way. He was in the plane, and then the welding matcher canceled it. That audio clip that I played for you is from a radio show where Axel talked about the incident.
Yeah, his flight was delayed or some shit, and then it's like they're like, "Oh, we're just canceling, whatever." And like people like paid fucking good money for these tickets, and there's like, "Oh, we just got fucked out of a show."
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. A lot of that was going on at the time. They announced like what 20, 30 tour dates and ended up canceling most of them. Like that was very commonplace for GNR at the time. They would announce all these tour dates. And then, like a day or two before the show, most of them would get canceled.
This was supposed to like kick off the tour. I think this is supposed to go all the way up into like 2003 a bit at one point, or is it just 2 months of shows? I don't know.
I'm not even sure, to be honest, because I know they announced a whole bunch of dates, and then they kept getting canceled, and then finally they just canceled the whole tour altogether.
Yeah, because this was November 7th, 2002. Yeah, it was supposed to go up until the beginning of 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, 90% of this tour, I think, or at least a good chunk of it, got canceled.
Oh, yeah. They only played about a month's worth of shows, and that was it.
Yeah. Which sucks, because that particular lineup was really good. I mean...
It's fucking phenomenal. They had Buckethead, Robin Fink, Fortis was there.
Is that the only time Bucket toured with them?
Well, besides the few shows in 2001, yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to see the Bucket era, you had to get lucky and get one of the uncanceled shows.
Yeah. Which is good, because I found like a recording of the Toronto show on YouTube. I don't know if it's there anymore. There's still clips of it, but like I have the recording, the audio and shit of it. It was a damn good show.
Yeah, it seemed like it. It didn't seem like Guns N' Roses though. It
was like
very
it was a weird ass set list. It was very like Appetite for Destruction heavy.
Yeah, it
was like all over the place, but like it was still a good show. Like Axl was like was kicking ass, doing his usual rants and shticks and shit. That was the old as I call him, the jersey and sweatpants Axl. Local team jersey.
Oh, what's the dude from Trailer Park Boy? Damn.
Oh, you're talking about Bubbles?
No, Ricky.
Ricky, yeah.
Yeah. That's what you just made me think of, Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. Jersey and sweatpants.
Yeah, pretty much. The 420. I fucking love that. Like, dude, this was insane. Apparently, like, dude, Kurt Loder was there, apparently. Oh, God. Good old Kurt Loder was there on scene. He was saying, like, bro, dude, these people were hoisting the security barriers and throwing them into the doors. Glass doors. Jesus, they're just throwing shit. Attack dogs are coming out. Bro, and then, like, this is, like, if you see, like, the news footage of this shit, it's, like, police brutality at its finest.
Oh, yeah,
they just come with the batons and just beating the fuck out of people. Dude, one dude actually got his teeth knocked out. It's insane.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the news footage. The only reason that I didn't play any of that is because it's mostly visual. I mean, we might throw some of it in there, but I'm already throwing GNR Central's video in the link, and he covers most of that.
Dude, yeah, the Vancouver police were sued by 2 people there, actually.
Fucking good. They shouldn't be able to get away with
so
that
they're
shit.
sued by one guy who lost 6 teeth and another guy who was attacked as he left the venue with his daughter.
Oh, man. So then we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're going to go ahead a month from there. And we arrive in good old Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, home of Chris Caputo's favorite wrestling show, ECW.
EC-Dub. He's hardcore. And then other various chants which we cannot say because they're very, like, not 2019.
Yeah.
Well, especially the woman.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Those are bad now. Oh my god.
Man, that footage hasn't aged well, has it? Oh man.
Yeah, now you see like a chair shot to the head. I cringe so hard. I'm like, I'm enjoying this match because it's awesome. But like, anytime I see a chair shot to the head, I'm like, concussion syndrome. Like half those guys are dead now. Which is like, oh, it's so sad.
Well, we do have a survivor of one riot. That is the third man on our show, Dan from the What the Famicom podcast.
Oh yes, I remember this when we had him on episode 5. I remember we got into the story of his encountering on in this particular riot.
That's right, we certainly did. As a matter of fact, let's play you that clip right now.
I was at the 2002 show in Philly. I was hype as shit to go see them. And I had the same love I have now as I did then, and everyone made fun of me. And it was December 6th, 2002, I believe. I had the tickets. Yeah. I went. He didn't show up. A riot happened. I think my sister saw me on the news. She told my dad she saw me in the news coming out of the stadium, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I had that scar. I had that burned in my brain until 4 years later when I saw them.
Did they not show? Was all their shit still there?
I think with the Philly show, it was infamous. So I don't know how much you guys know about that one, but the opening act was CKY and Mixmaster Mike, the DJ.
It was the O2 tour, yeah.
Yeah. So Mixmaster Mike kept playing. He just kept DJing. He kept playing with his records, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is this guy doing? This set's going on for an hour now." And everyone's just like, "What? Get off stage! What are you doing?" So the guy kept trying to kill time because Axl wasn't there. Nobody knows the truth. People say he was in L.A. watching a Lakers game. People say he was in the air. People say he was I don't even know. Honestly, he could be in outer space when that was happening. But people they announced an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours after they were supposed to go on. The intercom was Guns N' Roses are not going to be going on, and people just started throwing things. I saw a chair on fire. They I remember hearing this. Because I worked at the stadium at that time too, so I knew some of the managers and security people. They actually put a lot of the women security, women employees and women security guards, away, in a room because they were afraid that drunk guys would try to attack them.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was crazy.
And there you go, from his own words. And you know what? That is the only account really that I could find on it that's been documented.
Yeah, at least from here. I don't know if there's any news footage or anything from this, but
yeah, I couldn't find any.
Yeah, in this article from Ultimate Classic Rock, I don't see there's any here, but it gives you a very detailed thing about what came before it and all this other stuff.
Yeah, CKY.
Yeah, because this was the comeback of GNR, one of the many botched comebacks. Yeah.
This was supposed to be the comeback, but
yeah, because they had the surprise VMA performance, whatever. Even though it was meh, but still. Then the whole start of this tour got botched. We spoke of that just not too long ago. And then a month later, it's oh, this happens, and then basically the whole tour is done, canceled. That's it. Packing it in.
I mean, part of me can't blame them, but I'm gonna play you something. Let's play Axl's. Axl actually talked about it at a concert. Let's play that clip.
Before we start this next song, we haven't been back here in a long time, right? And I never talked publicly about what went down, and a lot of that was because there were a lot of legalities behind the scenes, so I had to keep my mouth shut for 5 years, or I would have got sued for about everything I own by fucking corporate radio and shit that were backing our tour. So I had to shut up. I mean, I did cancel the first show at 6 in the morning, but my manager told me he canceled it and then didn't. And then Clear Channel wanted us to fuck up because they wanted to end the tour. They had some shit going on in Florida or something. A whole bunch of bullshit, but I got really sick. It had nothing to do with fur coats or basketball games or, and I love Philly. I came to visit here a few times and stuff. I really liked it. So on this, we decided, okay, we're going to risk it. What if we could throw in a show in Philly and we can get in Philly and maybe I can go to jail. For my part of that, so I'm not saying I'm innocent.
So I think kind of the consensus is that this tour was sabotaged in a lot of ways by Clear Channel, by the record companies, and the people that were wanting Slash and you know what I mean, wanted the old lineup to get back together.
Oh yeah, because they definitely saw this. Like, dude, this was like when they did that whole like via the MTV Awards thing. Like, that was huge, especially because it kept a surprise pretty relatively decently well. And I guess like the record company was like, oh wow, this shit maybe like maybe to pull this shit off. They're like, oh, fuck you, Axl.
Yeah. But I mean, I see the point where like a manager wants to come along, get the old lineup back together so they can make their money off of the royalties and don't care about Axl or his vision or anything like that.
Yeah, man, but this is like you're dealing with people. If people can't fucking get along, move on. And say, I mean, okay.
At some point, you've made your money. And it becomes just purely about your artistic vision.
Mm-hmm.
And if the artist can't have their vision and they've already got the money, I mean, they're not going to stick around. What's going to happen? He's going to run off again like he did from, 94 to 99?
Oh, the wilderness years.
And he's going to do something the fuck else because he just don't want to fuck with you and your shit because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know sometimes we give Axl shit on this show.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun. I mean...
Yeah, like...
We're still fans. We still love the guy. But...
Yeah, he's definitely a character.
I mean... That's really the only explanation I can come up with as to why this tour failed so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, I mean, it had to have been somebody on the inside sabotaging shit. Unless, of course, the stories and rumors are true that Axl was just being crazy and wanting to watch Pretty Woman in the Hotel or what the fuck ever.
Or it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Secret Booze.
Yeah. There you go.
Pretty Woman's another one. He was watching Kundun.
I mean, even with all of the crazy ass Axl Rose stories that we have that we know are true, I have a hard time believing that this guy, because that goes from crazy to stupid. Like, you know that you have to be at a concert in another state,
mm-hmm.
and that people are lining up, and you're fucking off at the hotel at 8 o'clock when, you know what I mean, 6 hours later.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't know why. Like, with Axl, I think he just operated on his own time. He didn't really give a fuck, and it's like you can't do that when you're on, like, this big tour, and you're, like, you got money at stake, and you have, a lot of shit. Especially, you're promoting an album that who the fuck knows when it's going to be released.
I think a lot of people didn't want that album released.
That's true, too. Like, it could have been released at so many different times. 2000, 2001, 2002, which should have been fucking released by then. Even by, like, no offense, it should have been released before 06. After that, after 06, no one gave a shit anymore.
Yeah. But, I mean, what was it, 2000 when they decided they needed to fucking re-record everything?
It was, because I think those were the Roy Thomas Baker sessions. It was 2000 or 2001.
Is that the ones we got this past summer?
Yeah, we got, it was mostly 2000, I think, stuff from 2000.
So we got the shit that was deemed not good enough to be on the album.
Or I think that was what was first recorded, I think, maybe. And these were just rough mixes of stuff. So I'm not sure, actually. That's definitely something we got to look into, like, history-wise.
I don't know, man, because every time we get one of these, I don't bother digging up the history. I just want to hear the songs, man.
Yeah. So this was, it was in 2000, I remember, because they were still in the Village studios there. Like, 01, I think. It was 2001. Just say around that time frame. So it was before they went on tour. I think, yeah.
So had they not pulled that bullshit where they needed everything redone,
Yeah.
we could have had this album, which may be why we don't have any vocals. That would explain why we don't have any vocals on it, on hardly anything.
Yeah, because even if you listen to like the released versions, the vocals are literally the same. Because these vocals were recorded between 97 and 2001, and like nothing of Axl's vocals like ever changed really. Like that's it. Since we talked about like what these crowds did and like just the relentless damage these people did, like dude, people were taking out the drop ceiling tiles and tossing this shit. Oh my god. Folding chairs, seats being ripped apart, friggin' oh my god. People are starting fires in this building. Dude, they smashed the mixing board, so like that's interesting.
Dude, it is fucking Philly.
Yeah, dude, Philly's crazy. Those people are hardcore.
I know, man, there's only one place. That's why ECW was a thing. That wouldn't have fucking gotten over anywhere else. Sure as hell wouldn't have gotten over in fucking St. Louis.
Yeah, so only about 15 people were injured, with 5 requiring a visit to an area hospital. No arrests, which is surprising. Yeah, and there's still rumors about what the fuck, why this happened, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all boils down to who do you believe. And usually there's 3 sides to every story. I'm sure nobody was completely innocent.
Yeah.
But I figure, like, if you take what Axl has to say, if the people that canceled the tour gave their side of the story, which I couldn't find if they did, and you take what they have to say, you're probably going to find the truth somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. There's a few like excuses, there are a few reasons. The common one was, I think I mentioned this even on that episode too, on episode 5, but like Axl was watching some basketball game in his hotel room in New York City. It was like he wasn't even there. He's like, can't be bothered by this concert. I'm watching this basketball game or some shit. And there was one like said he was suffering from some sort of mental breakdown over stress surrounding this tour. But then basically it's like, oh, Clear Channel pulled the plug.
Yeah, Philadelphia, man. Wonder if any of the ECW guys were in that crowd. To me, this is the funniest scenario. This crowd's running around throwing shit, and then you see like the guy in the straw hat from the audience.
Straw hat.
Yeah. From ECW, except like he's not participating in the riot. He's just like holding a beer and cheering everybody on.
I was gonna say ECW had like their own sort of like riot. I don't know if you ever saw the clip where like they piled a bunch of fucking chairs onto a Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Which is a classic, and they're like, "Don't throw any chairs," and people are just
that was Terry Funk and Mick Foley, I think.
Yeah, they're like, "Give me a chair," and then like fucking 20 of them.
Everybody threw their chair.
I think Terry Funk got clocked by a chair, but he no-sold it.
Yeah. Oh man, Philly.
Philly, baby. It's fucking. They're the craziest motherfuckers there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't fuck with Philly, man.
Do not fuck with Philly. Those people are hardcore. Like Philly and like Chicago, you don't fuck with.
I gotta admit though, I'd still love to see Philly. I'd still love to go there.
Oh yeah, be nice.
Because if people that are that passionate about the thing that's pissed them off are always the coolest people to have the best time. You know what I mean? Like, imagine how fun that concert would have been had it happened. I mean, we wouldn't be talking about it today. We probably would never talk about it, period.
Yeah.
But if you were there, what a hell of a concert that would have been to be partying with those crazy bastards.
Oh, yeah. But, like, you would have been trying to avoid death at the same time. No, but, like, that's pretty much the whole retrospective of GNR Riots. Thankfully, none have happened yet since. Unless, like, they play, like, Hard School at the next, like, tour festival dates or something. Then maybe it'll be a riot. Actually, no, wait. They're in, like, South America. People will lose their shit.
Oh, man. I don't even think we've come close. I mean, usually there's a fine line between this crowd's going to riot. I think a lot of it, too, is nowadays everybody knows what to expect when they go to a GNR show.
Yeah.
So when we start getting into... when it starts getting about, after the opening act goes on, they go off usually at about 8:30, something like that.
Yeah.
We know we're not seeing GNR for another, like, till midnight at least.
Yeah, at least back then, for sure.
And maybe in 2002 people weren't expecting that like they do now. I don't know. That's just me speculating on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like we thought like Use Your Illusion tour was like the height of Tardy Axel. This was even worse at points.
Yeah.
This was even worse because like I remember when I went to see him in 2010, it came on like at 11 or something, and I only got to see maybe like an hour and a half of their concert because I had to catch the subway before it closed at 1.
Yeah.
Like, fucking pissed.
I don't blame you. Oh man, but yeah, that's our Riot show, man.
That's our first bonus show.
Yeah, our very first one here on New Year's Day 2020. But we're not slowing down, folks.
Hell no.
So we hope you guys will come and join us this coming Monday in 3 days. Is it 3 days?
Yeah, this will be New Year's Day is a Wednesday. Actually, be 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days.
4? No, it's 5. This is Wednesday.
5. Just come back Monday.
Yeah, just come back Monday. Hang on, let me look at my calendar.
Notice every time we start fucking with math on this show, it
January
always
6th.
goes downhill for us.
Yeah, Monday, January 6th.
We're going to be talking about attitude next time. We'll have much more structure and a plan and everything.
Back to the regular, the old school, as they say.
The way we
a
do
fucking
it.
Attitude.
Yeah, joining us for the spaghetti incident.
Yeah,
and
man.
Until then, I'm Dustin Bonez.
And I'm Chris Caputo. We'll see you guys in the future. Happy New Year. Peace.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2020.
Woo-hoo.